No,
Just click you go live.
You're live.
Okay.
Are we live?
Whoa.
Are we?
Yeah.
Sorry for being late. I was
We
getting
are
coffee.
live.
I don't know.
I
I
needed
think it
coffee.
lied to us. What's
Hello,
happening?
everybody.
Who's gonna click on that button for the logo animation?
I,
We're all clicking it. Good.
I'm not touching anything. It's all you guys.
Every single time. It's crazy.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Yes, of course. Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Here.
we are live.
Welcome. Welcome to the Home Assistant Release Party 2024-7, which means it is July, which means that we've done the majority of the releases of this year. Which kind of
Couple years gone.
Yeah. Why'd you remind me of that?
It's pretty much over for this year. It's time to wrap up.
This is it.
No,
that's
we got an amazing release today. It is, it was a short release cycle, but it is full of little goodies that we're very happy to show you today. We also released some cool voice stuff last week, 2 weeks ago. I don't know anymore. 2 weeks ago, I think. Also awesome. I'm very stoked with that one as well. So before we get started, let's do a quick roundup introductions. My name is Paulus Schoutse. I'm the founder of Home Assistant.
Hi, I'm Frank, and I work full-time on a Home Assistant project. And you probably know me best from shipping you the releases every month, right? Including this one.
I am Missy. I'm the community and social media manager for Home Assistant, and you guys have seen me shit posting in Discord.
Yay.
We have, yes.
Yes.
I'm Madalena. I lead the product and design for Home Assistant and Avocado. Good to be here. Back to be again.
Yeah.
Back here again. It's like my 1 year work anniversary.
It is?
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations.
I know. I survived.
So, what's up? I don't know. Where do we start? This is always so organized. Where do we start?
Let's start with the website.
Yeah, you can share my screen. Sure. Like we have to explain this a little bit, Madalena, I guess. What happened here?
Yeah. So I put it was like Friday morning, and like it's like morning is like 5 a.m. in the morning. I couldn't sleep, and then I just suddenly figured that I need to fix the website's appearance. but I'm just gonna do a test run and then see what it looks like, and then I'm gonna just show everyone like next week and see what happens.
So at the same time, I was actually enjoying my Friday off as well. And I was like, let me do some revamp of the documentation here and there, some website changes. And while I was doing that, I was like, that old font, that's not, like that thing is just way too big. I don't like it. I seen Madalena change the font sizes on ESPHome.io, and I was like, I can do the same. Let me make that change. So I made that change and I was like, well, maybe I should share and show it. So I shared and showed it. And Madalena was like, pasting back a screenshot with the exact same font changes I was making on that Friday. And we're like, okay, that's fine. Let's do it.
Psychic.
Exactly. So this is how we ended up spending our Friday and then Saturday and fine-tuned it furthermore on Sunday. And then it turned out to be Monday already. I don't know. Something happened there.
It's a 1 hour project. 1 hour project.
Yeah, we went a bit overboard.
It's a very long hour. We're like dilated time around like a black hole or something. So
it's okay. I made up for that though. I made up for that on Sunday by Frank and I knocking out just 30 minutes of changes. That's all it was. It was a 1 hour 1 hour project that took us 30 minutes. It was lovely.
Yep. So in the end, like this was meant to be a small change. It is a refresh of the existing website, right? Don't get us wrong. This is not a new website. It's all like styling of the existing stuff. We did improve things like new fonts. Madalena made this beautiful new hero, as they call it when you enter the website, right? We embedded a long-term wish thing from Paulus, actually, in case if you're watching it, like this is a nice new recent screenshot. It's not a screenshot. It is actually Home Assistant running in the
It is
website.
live.
This is, and somebody was asking which instance is this. This is not my home. I've seen people saying that. It's not. It does not turn on and off my lights. It does not. But it is a fully demo of Home Assistant, which is pretty cool, right?
You can download CSV on this.
From the NH dashboard, right?
Yeah, you can download CSV right off the homepage.
You sure can.
Oh yes, it actually downloaded.
Yeah. No, I mean this
It's
demo, we built a demo like, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, but it runs like a fake version of Home Assistant, right? It runs just in the browser instead of talking to an actual instance. And so we fake it, right? You call it turn on light while we update the state that it's now on instead of off, and these kind of things. But yeah, that means you can edit the dashboard. You can actually try out all the new features that we are talking about, like the new grid stuff.
Oh, drag and drop.
You can do drag and drop. You can do it straight from the front page.
What
had
version
this
is
plan.
it running?
It's running every time we do a release on the
front end.
main Home Assistant, it will do update the demo. So this is what's shipped today. This is
Oh.
7.0.
Yep.
Oh, it's like
matches.
you can see the first number in the header on the website at the
Yeah.
top.
We're looking at
Oh,
a
yeah.
by the way,
We added
and
that
as-
extra logo.
we're looking
Yeah.
at a zoomed in view, by the way, because I always zoom in for
For the-
enhance kind of I think zoom in. Yeah. Like I feel like CSI, but this is the homepage. Let's a little bit of the features, like the fonts changed a bit. So if we go into I don't know, integrations, looks different.
Look at
Let's
the
go to-
animation effects.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
Look at that
actually, by the
shadow,
way.
giant shadows. I know.
That's kind of nice. And what I really
You can-
liked is the fact. Go ahead. All these
Oh,
boxes.
I mean, it's like
now.
it's nice. You can now even browse integrations on mobile. Previously, you couldn't because the entire category list is just like at the top of the page.
So there's little boxes. We have lead paragraphs. Like it's almost professional, right? Like you can copy links and like it's all smooth and nice. And the integration owners and there are icons everywhere. We'll see a couple of these things more when we go through the release notes. But there are many. Oh, and by the way, this is the most beautiful thing I think is the footer. It's actually not like it's now organized. And look at the skyline here. I like it, Madalena. You did a good job at the design there. And
Yeah, it's like it gives the opportunity for people who don't have like a Home Assistant green or something, like they get skyline here. But now everyone can have the skyline.
yeah.
Yeah.
Almost professional copyright. Yes.
Thank you
exactly.
very much. Yes.
Yeah. I like the faces for the integration owners. I think that's
Yes.
very cool. Very
The
cool
profile
stuff.
pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
pretty nice. Love it.
We love our owners and we want to give them the credit and we want to see that it's real people, working on this project. You can see their faces and who they are, what their hobbies are, what they love. Like B. Draco love testing everything in the world and optimizing every second.
There are so many details in this weekend what we pushed in. It's insane. Like the icons, and we have external things, so there are external links, right? And oh, that's a good idea, Gozer. I like that.
Yeah.
Madalena, we should.
You
Yeah.
can have a
I like it.
little home assistant town.
Yeah.
Yeah, those full T-shirt prints, right? You can just print it all around your body.
Yes. Like a Sim
That'd be
City.
funny. Have a zip-up hoodie so that you can have it connect when you actually
Oh.
come up. So that'd be. I don't know if we could do that with the store we currently have, not with the design
Yeah, maybe
system.
not.
They're very specific, but no, that'd be fun.
Home Assistant Connect T-shirt.
The puns. I love.
But thank
So,
you,
yeah.
Madalena. I had a very enjoyable and fun weekend. This was a fun project to do. It was a lot of work, but we did it. And I'm not sure when you slept, actually, and I'm not sure if I slept actually. But we've been. It was fun. It was that.
It's a great distraction. Definitely better than doom scrolling.
Yeah.
All the crap happening out there.
Yeah.
All right.
It's,
So we're going to look at the release notes in a refreshed website today.
There you go.
About the release notes, before we dive in, should we talk about what happened previously pretty quickly, or should we just dive into the release notes and see where we are?
I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
The stream of last week.
Ah,
boy.
oh, it was last week. Wow,
It was
felt
last
like
week,
a month ago.
Yes. No,
Well-
Paulus is a little bit jet lagged.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
And also,
From trying-
we work on we work on a 1 hour project, so
That's true.
it felt
Yeah.
like a month ago.
No, yeah, I just flew from instead of Brooklyn, I'm coming live from Denmark. So it's evening now. I'm still a little bit jet lagged, but I should make it for 2 hours.
And the funniest thing that I'm going to share, which every smart home owner probably understands, but Paulus just before the stream started shared in his here in the chat with us that he flew to Europe, right? And he came to Europe, and now his home assistant tells him one of the batteries in his smart home is dead.
Not just one of the batteries. This was like the front door lock.
Like, right?
And this, yeah, it's good. Okay, though this is a Yale lock. They have these 9-volt pins on the bottom, so you just hold the battery to the bottom, and you can enter your house again.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Wow,
so
don't
we
tell
can
people
win.
that. That's a security risk.
No, you still have to enter the code, right? You just boot up the device.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's actually safer in a way. People think the device is dead; they cannot log in.
I was quickly looking for material. I cannot find it. So bad. We prepared so well. Anyways, we had a
It's
live stream
summer.
last week. It's summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let me pick up the
Yeah.
block before. Here we go. I think this is the easiest. So we had a live stream last week, Voice Chapter 7, and this was about wake words and timers. So some of these features announced there or shown there were already released before, and some of them we shipped today. So that's why this is kind of overlapping the release today as well. It was a cool live stream to watch. A lot of live demos that were actually prepared and not compared
And
to
they work.
how we
yeah.
did it, and they worked. Yeah, well, somewhat. It was very fun to see how JLo's desk he used as an example didn't obey as he expected and had to stand up all of a sudden during live stream. But it was definitely a fun stream to watch, and all the features of voice are demoed right there. We're not going to do full demos of the voice features today. That would be kind of duplicate. Nevertheless, to sum a little bit up what's happening here, one of the things is micro keyword, wake word. Sorry, not keyword, micro wake word. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, Paulus? The fine
Yeah.
details.
So, micro wake word was started by Kevin. Kevin was a mathematics professor here in the state of New York. And not only did he join Nabu Casa, which means that he's now full-time working on wake words, on voice, on making sure that the voice part of Home Assistant is as good as possible. Because he joined us and he was able to work on it full-time, he has been able to optimize micro wake word even further, which if you scroll down a little bit, it now runs on the old ESP32s. Well, previously it was only on the ESP S3 box. One more bit more lower, Frank. It now...
Oh, here.
Yeah. So not only is it better, it also not only does it perform faster, it's also better, right? So this old ESP previously could not run wake word. Now it can run 3 wake word models at the same time, which is insane. Which means that we're working on a voice kit, like a hardware that we're gonna sell hopefully later this year that everybody can try out all the voice stuff. That one is based on the S3, should be able to run 8 models or 9 models. So, which means that, of course, we're not going to run that many models, but it gives us a lot of extra CPU power to do other things while we're also processing audio at the same time. So, yeah, let's play this video clip, which is really cool because it uses 2 different wake words to wake up this device, which previously could not run a single wake word.
Okay.
I'm going to demonstrate.
Does the audio come through? I don't think so.
Yes.
It does.
Oh,
I'm going to demonstrate MicroWakeWord version 2 running on the Atom Echo, and this only has an ESP32 chip, no S3, and it also does not have any external memory. Hey Mycroft, turn the lamp on.
Turned on the light.
So fast.
Okay, Nabu, make the lamp red.
Color set.
Hey Mycroft, turn off the lamp.
Turned off the light.
that thing is
So both
blazing
of these
fast.
models are running simultaneously on the device, so no audio is sent to Home Assistant until the wake words are said.
Boom.
Wow.
It's super fast, and of course this is using Home Assistant Cloud speech to text, text to speech. Sentence matching is done locally, and as you can see in this graph, this is where blue was version 1 of MicroWakeWord, orange is version 2 of MicroWakeWord, and it's like twice as fast. And we would love to compare this with like Google and Amazon and stuff, but they don't publish this data because they don't want to be compared against, right? So
Right.
that
Understandable.
sucks. We are needing, so we're going to need to improve the models even more, get human recordings of wake words. We're actually working on a website, which I hope to launch, I don't know, later this month, maybe beginning next month, where people will be able to record audio and send it, so that we're going to start with okay Nabu, but we have some other wake words that we want to train, like Casita. We want to work with some local communities, maybe get some cool wake words going, and basically, you know, get 100,000 samples of different wake words, and then just get
Right.
really good.
So we all go to that website and then like speak what's there, so you can like get many samples of different voices saying
Yeah.
okay Nabu and whatnot. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you're going to be able to just put it on your phone, put your phone somewhere in the house, and then like walk around, say the wake word a couple of times, and that will really help. Will help us. But that will come a little bit later. But yeah, this is such a good big improvement, which is like, it's, you know, like 7 months ago, 8 months ago, MicroWakeWord didn't exist. Kevin was a contributor to ESP
True.
Home, and you know, he heard me talking on the self-hosted podcast about how we had difficulty getting a wake word running on ESP Home, which is why we were running it inside Home Assistant. And Kevin was like, I think I can figure it out, and he did. And what is really awesome is that not only does it run on ESP32, his model is open source, right? So previously we could get models to run on ESP32s, but we would have to pay a license per device, which doesn't work with open source. We want everyone to be able to make voice assistants the way they like it, the way it works, the way they see it. And so, yeah, that didn't work. So now with this new MicroWakeWord, it does work. And, you know, with Kevin joining full time, we'll be able to make sure that when our voice kit hardware launches later this year, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really good. And that's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Hey, about those two wig words, can you actually like trigger 2 different pipelines with them?
Nah, not yet. That's the plan, right? So ideally, we will want like a Spanish wake word, if you know, if you want to speak Spanish, and then like a Dutch wake word if you want to speak Dutch, and English wake word if you want to speak English. So, you know, Google has this thing where like they are super smart, and they have these models where they can detect which language you're speaking. That's not for us, right? That's too difficult. But we should be able to just have different wake words, which avoids all of this.
Exactly.
It's bilingual.
The coolest feature, however, that is next up and is part of this release, right? You need Home Assistant 2.24.7, 2024.7, sorry, to get this feature going, is timers.
Yeah, it's finally here. This is finally here. Yeah. You know, when you make there's these lists of like what are the most supported, requested, or used features on voice assistants, and it's like timers, music, and to-do lists, something like this. And smart home controls up there, but not even like the number one. And so, you know, we've been slowly checking off these boxes, right? So we added to-do lists earlier this year. We've added music in the last release, single word like next, pause, these kind of things. And now timers. And timers is actually kind of complicated if you start to really get into all the edge cases, which is mainly related about multiple timers. So yes, we have multiple timers, and you can say, create a timer for pizza, create a timer for boiling water, or something like this.
Well, Well,
and then you can refer them by name if you want to update them.
there's a little video here, so
yeah,
we
let's
can
do it.
actually show it because this is beautiful.
Okay, Nabu. Set a timer for 20 seconds.
Timer started.
So yeah, now we
The
have to wait.
countdown is right there.
Oh, it's beautiful. By the way. It looks cool.
Yeah, Nabu is taking a nap. And now, 3, 2.
Subtle beep. I like that.
And this is the Lite, the ESP32S3 Lite, so it doesn't have a touch screen. So there's a button on the side. This one, like, it's really cool for us to have these S3 boxes as our current development target, because we're experimenting with UI, we're experimenting with like the way we can give feedback and these kind of things. So it's good. Yeah.
I didn't even know that you could do like add or subtract to like the Echo devices now. Once we were testing around with this, I was like, can I do this now with the Alexa device? And I can. And it was great messing with my son's timer one time.
Yeah, so in our user research, we realized that a lot of the secondary users, which are like the people who are using the Home Assistant with the person who set it up, I think like most of them use timer the most. Like, so this is the one feature that I think is going to help a lot of people switch to Home Assistant before, other voice assistants start charging you, for AI or something like that.
But we're not fully there yet. There's more to this because
timing stuff. Like, what about turning off the lights in 15 minutes or something like that?
Exactly. That's the next video. It can. So let me show you.
Okay, Nabu. Turn on the office lights in 10 seconds.
Command received.
That's just cool. This is just cool. This is magical, in my opinion.
Boom. Yeah, no, this one is really cool. We have marked this one as beta though, because there's no good way to cancel commands. So, you can, if you set like 5 commands and then
don't ring the doorbell in 5 hours if you know you will be sleeping then, right? That's a bad thing to do.
I just restart Home Assistant.
All right, that works.
We don't persist.
Yeah. It's like Starship self-destruct sequence, and you cannot cancel that.
Unless you reboot the mainframe, of course. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's how it works in Star Trek.
Yeah. So all these features, they also work with the large language models. So if you've been experimenting with the large language models, they have access to all these features as well. Depending on the large language model you use, it might work. Like the sentences you say, like it depends on if the large language model understands how to call the right tool, which if you just stick to like the ones we've been using in these examples here, it should be fine. If you're going to go a bit more funky, then maybe it will do it. Like maybe if you say like, I'm going to be arriving at home in 10 minutes, maybe it will open the garage door in exactly 10 minutes. If you have one, but that's a bit risky, right? Especially because you don't know what kind of command it has just scheduled for you.
Yep.
If the ESP gets unplugged because the timers, they live inside Home Assistant, you'll be fine. Currently, we do not persist timers. So if your timer, if you restart Home Assistant, your timers are gone. So that's it's kind of interesting because this is normally the way it works is that ESP Home would tell Home Assistant, hey, I need to do something. And we actually now had to make another direction signal where Home Assistant had to tell ESP Home, hey, your timer has expired and do something about it. And the reason we're doing this inside Home Assistant is because we eventually want to add this there's no UI in Home Assistant right now for your ongoing timers. And we didn't figure it out yet how we want to represent them, because we don't really have a concept in Home Assistant of ephemeral timers, as in like, are we going to create a new entity ID for every new timer you're going to ever create? Or are we going to reuse timer entity IDs? But if you're going to have 5 timers running, are you going to have 5 entity IDs claimed, or how does it work? Where do you show it? Like we don't know yet. So to be continued. And I mean, this is really reflective, of course, of how we work, right? In Home Assistant, we ship features as they get to a usable state and kind of iterate on that in the open, which with the feedback and then together with the community, right? Like this is not just, oh, there are people working full-time on Home Assistant, they do all the work. No, we do this
Definitely
together.
not.
So there's over
Definitely not.
50 different language leaders, for example, that have been working they've been very busy to make sure that all the languages support timers as well. So even though we do all our demos in English, it's because everybody understands the demos. These things also work in French and Dutch and German and etc.
Yep.
The power of community.
Yeah. So
Oh.
Vasil is asking, can I set future commands from services? Yes. Anyone, the conversation.process service is what is used internally inside a voice assistant, and you can call that from your automations. So you can say
Exactly the same things as you would speak, actually.
Yeah.
You would write them
you can
down.
You're unable to do timers because timers require a device or like a source that is able to play timer events or handle timer events. So you need to have an ESP home device that needs to listen for the timer events. The service.process service doesn't do that. But that's the only thing. So, yeah.
Now could I say you could make an ESP home service that accepts like something from process that then would communicate back? Never mind.
Yeah,
This is getting complicated, but you could. That's not.
But then your timer will run on the
on that device.
your timer will run on the
proxy it
device.
through.
Yeah.
This is getting complicated. Let's not go there.
Yeah.
Another feature that is in this release and becomes available this release is, I think, really cool, is expanding your LLM using scripts. And this is one heck of a powerful feature that is landing if you're using OpenAI's ChatGPT or Google Gemini with Home Assistant. You can now give it access to your scripts, and that's per script. By the way, you can expose them manually if you like, as shown in the script, in the screenshot. But what can you do with this, Paulus?
So scripts have been having a lot of love this year. One of the things so scripts have been really powerful, right? Scripts is really the action part of an automation, and you can do anything in action. It's like a sequence of steps, and you can say, turn on this, then check a variable, do a template check, or basically check the value of a variable and split and do like, oh, if this variable is 5, then do this action. If it's 3, do that action. And earlier this year, CarWasp actually added to the user interface that we had this notion of fields in script. So you can say like, hey, I'm going to have these fields such that when you call the service, you get a nice UI. And he added the UI to edit these fields. So if you go to an edit script, you can actually choose, oh, I'm going to define this script expects a string. This script expects a Boolean to be passed in. And this data used to just be, used in the services dev tool or when you were creating an automation. But now it's also being sent to the large language model. So the better you document your script, and for example, you see here like enable party mode field. This is like just allowing text input, but you can change the type under selector to be like, I don't know, a Boolean
right?
should. And so all this information is sent to the large language model, and the large language model is able to decide what to do. So, for example, I created this script. I call it tell everyone. And now when you tell a voice assistant, and for example, my kids talk a lot to the voice assistant using the VoIP, the landline. I have an old landline phone in the living room. And when the kids talk to it, they can say, tell everyone, and then blah, 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 blah. And then it will call my script with either the message, blah, 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 but you can say, tell everyone the weather. And actually it will find the weather from Home Assistant and then send it to this script. And I set that script up to use text-to-speech to play on a speaker in my living room so that like everyone can hear, because normally they're only on the phone. And this was just like a couple of clicks, right? Because you create a script here, you do something you add the field, and then when you go to settings, voice assistant, expose entities, you can expose this script, or you go to the more info dialog of a script. And then the LLM has just access to it. if you use the Assist API, which I think is really cool.
So instead of building those complicated intents previously, you could do in YAML, which are okay to do, but it's still not like as easy as this. You could use scripts, right? So you can make scripts with inputs. The LLM would be able to understand those inputs and this description, and you could like do really cool stuff. And if you have not seen the live stream, go check it out, because it's actually during the live stream. I'm not even going there, where JLo built a live script for his desk, basically.
Turning it up and down.
Which went south, which is extra funny. But still, it's live, so it's fine. This is super powerful, and you can do extremely cool things with this. 100%. Yeah. And this one.
One last thing about for the scripts, we used to automatically expose scripts by default, and we no longer do that. But it might be that if you are using Assist, make sure you check if what entities are exposed to your voice assistant, because it might be that some of your scripts that you don't want the voice assistant to have access to are accessible. So you might want to audit that.
Good call. And their last feature that was demonstrated was the enhanced media control, which was already part of the previous release. However, this release adds a new capability, which is previous track. I'm going to quickly show it.
Okay, Nabu. Resume.
Resume.
Okay, Nabu. Next.
Playing next.
So nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Nabu. Set the volume to 50%.
Volume set.
Boom. It's they work so well, right? You can just activate, boom, next, and it works. I feel like the large language models, they are a bit too eager to help sometimes. So they you say one word. I had a false positive on a wake word. It heard the word free, and my large language model was like, okay, unpause your music and turn on your lights. I was like,
Wow. How did you come up with that?
That is the risk of large language models. The normal built-in sentences, they always work, do exactly as we want to. Yeah.
So for the media features, we had next and such, and this release will add previews.
No.
So it's now complete, I would say. This is about it for the assist part, especially which has been shown last Wednesday. Check it out. It was cool. Just fun. This is going somewhere. I am looking forward to the hardware.
Yes.
At this point.
Me too.
100%. All right.
I think I can hear Storm in the background, by the way.
Yeah.
Traveling, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about 2024.7. We're finally here. The release of today and this release, and we'll skip the voice part. We've kind of had that for now already. What to tell about this release? Where to start? Should we start with demoing? Would you want to go through it? I believe Madalena has actually prepared something, so that might be nice.
Sure. I can go for it. Let me see if I can share my screen.
So one of the, while you figure that out, some of the bigger features we're working on and the roadmap that has been published recently, which is also on our blog, by the way, in case you're wondering what are these guys aiming for this year, or the upcoming months, basically, that has been documented in the blog post. And one of those goals is dashboarding in general, right? Making it easier to create dashboard and more accessible. We've been doing that a lot in the past few months, right? We've had a drag and drop, which we've also shown up the homepage, right, a few minutes ago. But we keep continuing adding stuff to this, and this release is no exception to it. Oh, right. You cannot click. Let me click. Can I share your dashboard?
Oh yeah, sure.
There we go.
So, oh yeah. Well, so this is not my dashboard yet, but I just want to have a little bit of reminder from what happened last time when we were in dashboard chapter 1. So we were working on a grid system, right? Essentially, what that means is by making every single card in like the same set of dimension that conforms to like a set of like row height and column width, it allows us to make all these like different cards on the screen to be almost like Legos, right? It's more modular and everything would snap together and fall in the right places. Versus previously, every single card that we have like slightly different height, and it makes it really hard to really like put everything together in a way that is tight and also predictable, especially when you resize the screen, like the card will flow everywhere. Versus in here, with a grid system, everything is like the same similar sizes and dimensions so that everything will fit together in the screen, no matter how much you resize it. So if let me see, look at my dashboard. That's my example. So there's a lot of stuff here. So this is what we call the sections view, right? You can enable the sections view. Let me make it vertically taller. Nice. So you can enable the section view by going to edit, right? You can look at the edit the setting of the dashboard, and you select sections here as the view type. So right now it's still experimental. The reason that it's experimental is that we are not quite set on the dimensions of the cards yet. We're going to finalize that soon, but before then, things might shift a little. The sizes of things might, like, if you use this as the real dashboard, expect that things might change and move around. So that's why it's still market experimental right now.
Super active development still. Like every release, we change this stuff around until it's perfect. And but definitely try it out. By the way, we are looking for feedback. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And with this, you got the sections view. And what's cool about the sections view is that you can add cards as you like, right? You can add anything like I can add a bunch of lights if I want. Select all my lights and then continue, and then add to my dashboard, right? And what's cool about it is that you can actually do drag and drop, which is something that previously you cannot do in Home Assistant. So you can move the lights like to any like section you like, and then you can like rename the sections as you like edit it. So that's like what we had done so far. In this particular release, we finally have. Oh, hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Yes, and Paul helped us like coded this next great step of the grid system, which is the ability to resize cards. So previously, if you just add any cards, right? So if I add cards that aren't really fit to the grid, for example, a media player card, media control, right? So I can, so I'll put it in here and save it. What happens is, I don't know why it keeps shifting to another view, but if I move more cards around, you realize that this card has like different height as the rest because this card has not been updated to the grid system yet. So with the ability to resize it, there's now a new layout tab.
We actually, I think we reverted media player just before the stream because it wasn't working. So we need you need to pick another card.
Yeah, but still you can actually make it 2 rows high. So, and then with that, you click save. Now it actually, everything is nicely aligned. So that's one example.
I really like how it works on a thermostat card, by the way. I'm looking at it right in the middle of your dashboard right now.
Oh, yeah. This is so large.
It is so large, and you can really easily change the size now. That's beautiful.
but I really like the dial, so that's why I use the thermostat card instead of a tile card, right? So I could have used the tile card, but it doesn't look as cool. It's a really cool design. So so what I can do now is that I can resize it to a different size. So I can make it 2-column wide, and maybe a little shorter.
Nice.
Nice. So, and then I can hit save. And what happens is that now everything fits very tightly together, right? Everything is similar size, and yeah, so pretty good so far, right? So let's do a little more. So right now, because of the ways the sections are arranged, there's this giant big empty space here, which is not exactly desirable. So let's see what else doesn't need to be as big. So maybe this weather map here, so this is a picture card, and I can also resize this card too, right? I can make it 2-column wide, right? And I can make it a little more square, right? So that's the satellite map of the area. That's a little too tall, so I'm gonna make it 2 rows high, like that. And I can also change the map to fit too. Right. Let's see. That's 2 by 2. Okay, and hit
So
save.
the dark area in the slider, is that how
Yeah.
small and big it can be?
So yeah, so like there's a limit in like how big and small the card can be, and every card has a different limit. So for example, this one, the smallest it can be is 2 columns wide and 2 row height, like 2 rows high. And it also actually changed depending on the content that is inside the card. So for example, if we look at the thermostat card, right now it occupies like 4 rows, right? But if I have less features, so these are the features on the card, if I remove some of them, now you are actually able to make the card shorter and have it only occupy 2 rows.
That is
But when
correct.
if I add some features back, then the minimum height would change automatically, right? It will automatically adjust it back to 3 rows, and it hits save.
That's awesome.
And done. Now everything is a similar height, right? Now it's like a lot less empty space, which is very nice.
This is such a cool feature.
Sweet.
Being able to resize, and you can make. I already see it. I want to say larger tile cards, but there's one in your workspace there below, which is really nice. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I like the bigger tile cards are cool. Like that's
oh
really
yes, you can make it bigger. Let's see. Okay, let me finish this one. But yeah, I can make this one. I can actually make tile cards any size I want. So if I think that like a certain button is very important,
Mhm.
like if
Yeah,
it's example
exactly.
the workspace button, I can actually make it extra large, like 4 rows, like 4
Yeah,
columns wide.
I
and 2
could
rows.
imagine that I made like a group, like I have groups for lights in
Yeah.
the living room, right? So I put a group on top as a bigger button, and
Yeah.
then the individual lights underneath it, right? And that's something that
yeah.
I think that would work in a way for me at least.
What about the minimum? It seems that the minimum is 2 by 2. Can't get 1 by 1.
So for tile card, I think the minimum is 2 by 1, but I think but right now, since this
No,
is
2
in a
by 2.
vertical layout, it's 2 by 2. But if I turn off the vertical layout, right, which makes it like this, then the minimum size becomes 2 by 1. Ta-da!
Nice. And this is,
Ah.
if you look at this as a user, it all makes sense. But as a designer and as a programmer, they have to take into consideration all variations that a person can ever come up with, right? So vertical options, the min width changes. We have like designs. I think Marlene was showing 36 different variations for the tile card of like different
Yeah.
heights, widths, rows, options, everything. Like it's a lot of work just to get one card perfect. But we actually want to get all cards perfect.
And
So.
speaking of which, I do have a little announcement. So there's going to be another live stream coming up later this month on Dashboard. So that is going to be
Nice.
Dashboard Chapter 2. And yeah, this is a great piece of graphic made by our graphic designer, Clelia. Thank you. What's new in Dashboard Chapter 2? And it's going to be later this month. I think it's going to be on July 24th, which is 3 weeks. So there's going to be a lot more details on, like, yes, how you're going to be able to implement these new features in your custom cards. And we also would love to start working on the rest of the cards and make it fit in the card system. And we're calling for all the designers and like card developers who are interested in contributing in this area. And if you're interested in contributing, please join us at our stream on July 24th.
Yeah, and so July 24th, same time, same location. So if you want to be notified when the stream starts, this
here
is
we
a
go.
great
The YouTube
moment
part.
and if you're watching on YouTube, then please make sure you like and subscribe our channel. Because hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and then most important, hit the bell. Because if you hit the bell, boom, when we go live, we're in your
I'm
feed.
looking at it. We have 45 thumbs up, like on this feature. This is not possible. Come on, hit that thumbs up.
I know.
Please.
Have you pressed the like button yet?
Oh, we got a marquee now.
I haven't, so I'm not even better. I will press 2. Here we go. I did it.
Yeah. Good.
Cool.
So I saw a question that I now lost. I'm very good at this because everybody keeps chatting, which is good, but we keep chatting. Don't stop doing that. I saw a question from someone. I'm sorry, I cannot find it that quickly, but he upgraded and he couldn't find the feature for resizing. If you do, make sure... this one. There is Wayne. Hello. If you upgrade to this release, first of all, that's needed, right? You need to upgrade to this release. Secondly, the resize feature is only available if you're using the new sections view. So if you're using the old, you need to grid. So if you use the masonry dashboard, like that has been the default for years and still is, that will not work. Madalena is now pulling up. So if you are in a view, you can select a view type. It needs to be sections and experimental. That's the only view that supports resizing at this point in time.
So there you have it, Wayne. Sections.
There it goes. Sections. It's the way to go. You get drag and drop. Like, what else do you want?
Yeah,
that's the thing we all want, right?
We're very good at naming things.
Yeah.
It's just called sections. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Like, you can see my whole 3D printer, Octoprint, by the way. Shout out to Octoprint.
Thank you, Gina.
Great software. Thank you, Gina.
Yes.
And yeah, Octoprint can see my camera. I can turn on the lights, and you can actually control what's going on. And everything just fits in one section. It's like perfect. I can like really see if spaghetti's happening on my printer.
That's the best thing to watch for, right? Like being able to make sure your print isn't going to go sideways. Beautiful. Love it.
Yep. Thank you. So that's dashboard.
Dashboards.
I think quick question about those dashboards.
Yeah, sure.
Can you convert existing ones into sections right now?
Not at this moment.
No. But if you click add card, instead of going by card, you can pick entities, and then you can move pretty fast in like selecting 5-6 entities to fill up a section. So it's not the same, but it's a little bit easier to rebuild.
It is on the list of things to tackle at some point, right? But for now, like we're not even sure where it's fully ending up yet, or at least we still have lots of ideas and we're not fully there yet. So for now, it's purely experimental. Play with it. If you like Paul or many others, as I've seen in the chat already, use it for your dashboard. So let us know how you think about them and what you think can be improved. It's still in very, very active development. Every release, we have something new. And this release, again, like just the resizing is something that you previously, even with the other dashboards, right, you would need to card mart or something and then go into YAML and do CSS stuff to resize things. I believe most people do. I never did, but For me, this is just opening up new doors. Just being able to resize from the UI, that would be really great. I was thinking, by the way, that's not in here. If we talk already about like suggestions and such, could it be a drag handle on the card at some point? Is that possible? Paul?
Yeah.
Paul, are you here? Like just being able on the dashboard to drag, like we like drag and drop, but I would like to drag to resize at some point. That would be nice.
Yeah.
With a
That
few
would
options, is
definitely-
really, really good.
Yeah, I would definitely look into getting the edit mode better.
Yeah.
What's on the roadmap next for sections?
Yeah,
So-
tune
Scott,
in,
I have
Scott.
seen the design.
No,
Oh, Scott, you're in for a surprise.
Let's
Oh,
not
yeah,
spill the
it's-
beans, Scott. July 24. July 24.
Yes.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
I have seen some designs from Madalena. I'm looking forward to next release.
Yeah.
That would definitely make my dashboard like the dashboard I want it to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's hope we make it. But if it's not next release, it will be the release after. That's that simple. But
Yeah. Oh, the birthday release.
oh, that would be. Is that a birthday? Yeah, that's the birthday release.
Yeah, it's a birthday release. Yeah, no, we're already
Is it? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
2 releases. Yeah, after today, it's August, September. Boom,
Yeah,
11 years
boom.
old.
I will be
Oh,
watching it
wow.
from the mountains probably. Anyways, I'm always on holiday during our birthday. It's somehow I planned it really well.
So there's one question to me. Just want to quickly address that. So one of the main goals of when we start doing out dashboard is we look at the case studies of like every like dashboards, especially like everything Smart Home gave us a whole set of the best like dashboards that he ever collected. And we look through the Reddit and we look at all the greatest dashboards, and we want to make sure that like everyone will be able to build them without using complicated YAML and CSS code. So whether it's my dashboard or like the minimalist dashboard, right, or the Apple looks like an Apple Home dashboard, this will be like we try to make it as easy as possible for you to build it using sections. So so we get definitely adding more and more features to like help people to drive to that direction. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yes.
All right. I guess that wraps up the dashboard changes for this release slowly. Yeah,
we
let me
open the
dive.
release notes.
No, I'm just diving into another instance, and I think I can just like straight up show you something new.
Do it.
That's in here. Let me share this tab instead, and here we go. So besides dashboarding, we had more changes in the past releases, and most notably was the release in, I believe, was it the February or March release where we did organize all the things. That was March.
It's 2 months
April?
ago, right?
April.
April, yeah, it's April.
April. All right. We recently did release with organize all the things, and we introduced like all the labels and such. But to do that, we introduced new data tables. Right. So if I go to devices here, those beautiful new tables we have where you can group and search and do. These have been extended again this release, and with one really cool feature. I think this is pretty neat.
Yeah.
There's now a little Gar icon here on the top, and it allows you to customize the columns. Finally. So if you're not interested in the manufacturer and the model, that's fine. You can turn those off and it will be gone. It will be stored. So if you return here, it will still be gone. And yeah, that is new in data table
really
land.
cool.
Can
this
I
makes
move
it
the
so-
columns?
You can. So that was next up.
Oh.
So let's say manufacturer can go first and area goes last. That's the battery. Here we go.
Did you just drag and drop?
I did just drag and
just
drop.
drag
It
and-
becomes a casual thing in Home Assistant lately, right?
Wow,
It's not a question of
drag and
if, it's
drop.
just why not? That's just beautiful, right? That works.
Yeah.
Do you guys see the drag and drop? Yeah, you see it. Cool.
Yeah, we see the animation.
Nice.
Nice. It actually happens in the background, right? Yeah. Instantly. Cool.
So Sandler is already asking a question. Oh, I thought our hats were gonna pop over the comments.
That's what
Um,
we're working. That's
No,
what we're-
I that's why I put the heads on the right.
Anyway, Are they saved in Home Assistant in the local browser or device state? They are stored in the local browser right now.
So I actually am not against this feature. I've heard a discussion on the Home Assistant podcast about this release too, about this same subject, right? So I use my Home Assistant for my iPad as well. I like sitting on a couch and working with that. But at that point, my screen will be smaller than on my desktop. So I actually have some like this table specifically, and also the entities tables. I show less fields on my iPad than on my desktop. So in this case, I'm personally pretty happy with that, but I also can see the points that others make. Like it would be nice if it was part of my user profile. So yeah, it's a hard, tough question, right? To what is right and what people want here.
Yeah.
It has been a point of discussion for years, actually. Yeah.
What screens
That's data
support
tables.
customization? But like which pages support customization of columns?
Every page where
all
you
of
see
them.
Wow.
this table, like doesn't matter as long as this table is there. Well, there's no data table here, right? There's no columns, there's no table, but effectively everywhere.
Nice.
Do we have other places where we have hidden columns that we don't show yet? Is it
I
like-
don't. Yeah, I don't think so yet. There are some changes coming in the upcoming release where we will
Okay.
be adding new columns you can sort by and show. That will probably guesstimate at this point because I actually really don't know, Madalena. We haven't talked about it yet, but we are going to add some new columns that are probably hidden by default.
Yeah.
And she's
Tighter,
nodding, so I guess we're already in agreement.
We need some voice commands for this now. Everybody's saying they want OK Nabu. Remove manufacturer, hide manufacturer. Let's go.
Fix my broken Zigbee devices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody wants that.
Oh yeah. So the next request will be the somebody asking for created automation, which we actually already had and nobody used in the past.
No, I know. And now with LLMs, everybody wants AI to do everything. It's like we had that.
Yeah.
Nobody cared.
For the person that is paying attention, you might have noticed like some ESP Home devices in here. And if you haven't seen it already,
Ooh.
ESP Home has a beautiful new logo. That looks like the logo of Home Assistant, right? Because ESP Home is now part of the Open Home Foundation, which is absolutely lovely to see.
Like
I'll
Oh,
just quickly.
Oh.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I was gonna.
yeah, I was doing the same. Sorry, I was clicking on your screen.
yeah.
Look at that. Sorry.
Yeah. So
That is, by the way,
there it is.
absolutely beautiful. It now looks so much like Home Assistant, and it's truly one of our sister projects, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we did an ESP home
That's
stream for
just a
people that
project.
haven't seen it like 2-3 weeks ago. I guess. Don't ask me about
Two,
weeks.
Paulus. That's two.
2. Okay. What I really like about it, like in case, like obviously it's the same house as Home Assistant because we're like one family. But if you know ESP devices, they have these antennas on them, and I think you can actually you cannot see them here, but this looks
We
like
can
an ESP
see my
home. It
camera.
also looks like the PCB antenna. I think that's so cool. So yeah, this is the new logo. So that's why we're one big happy family.
We are family.
Oh God.
Yeah.
No. Oh God. It's so bad.
That's
Okay,
why
now
this,
you can't stop hearing it. for
No,
the next week.
I'm now hearing this in my head too. This is so bad.
Yeah. So yeah, now here's the logos together. This is the Open Home Foundation website, of course.
While we're at the subject about ESP Home, there's actually a really cool feature that lands in this release for ESP Home, which is the ability for people that create devices or projects online for ESP Home to provide updates. And
Yeah.
I might hear you think like, I can already update my ESP Home device. It's true, you can, but in order to do that, you have to adopt the device and decouple it, right? And then you like have to compile the firmware, and if you know all that stuff, it takes time and whatnot. But what we can do now, or what the creators can do now of those projects or devices, is actually ship pre-compiled updates, like preset, like pre-built firmware installation kind of updates for your devices, and they will pop up and install directly from Home Assistant without the need of adopting or add-ons or whatsoever. So, for example, if you look at Lewis for his ESP presence sensors, what's it called again?
Everything present one.
The everything presence one, exactly that one. He could now ship firmware updates, and you will get like firmware updates shown up in Home Assistant. You can click install, and it will directly download the already pre-built firmware and upload it directly into the device. So there's no like building happening anymore locally. You don't have to do anything, which is more of a vendor kind of shipped firmware updates. Like it's almost like professional.
Yeah.
This is cool.
I mean, I really like it because it really allows people selling ESP home-based devices to really get to the next level, right? Like it shouldn't be that people have to understand how ESP Home dashboard works and how that part of ESP Home works just to use an ESP Home device. The beauty of ESP Home is that they can, if they want to take control, they want to customize, they want to change the YAML, that's all possible. But if they just want to have a device that does the thing that's on the box, right? Like, yes, that's also possible. And now you get updates and now you can stay in the loop. And they're just going to show up as update entities as well, right? And the backend, the way the data is fetched is actually compatible with ESP Web Tools. So if people have browser-based installers, that all hooks into one nice little flow.
You don't have to do it twice, basically, right? It's just once.
Yeah. Just Mark's asking like how they handle Wi-Fi settings. So those Wi-Fi settings will just stay there as you update. So if you have provision of using Improv Bluetooth, Improv over Serial, it will just stay there.
Cool. So one of the examples that we have directly on the projects are these ready-made projects, right? You can just install one of those Bluetooth proxies basically on. I had this device on my desk, like these Atoms or like the voice controls, right? Like the ESP32 box we've seen for voice. You can flash them right here. If I flash them just in this ready-made projects website, will I get updates already?
Ooh, I
don't know. I am not.
No,
I really don't.
I don't think actually yet.
Okay.
We're definitely going to add it. I mean, this is one of the drivers. Like, we want to have like people that the ready-made project, they get updates. So we're definitely going to add it to them. I don't think it's live yet, but maybe Jesse, if you're watching and you know the right answer, or Keith, let me know.
Yeah, I really didn't know. I'm just asking.
It's definitely on the to-do list. I just don't know if it's already shipped.
Awesome. That would be nice, right? If I install one of those proxies, I really don't have to take control. It's just lingering around my house and want to update it. Nice.
And this is also just another thing that is around like these updates is that ESP Home is kind of taking a different stance on updates in this release. So if you're a big user of ESP Home, you might have realized that your ESP Home update entities are like you have one for each device. And every time there's even a minor patch release of ESP Home, we're like, hey, there's an update available. And we kind of realized that we're pushing updates too much because even if ESP Home updates, your device is actually or most likely not impacted, right? Like most fixes to ESP Home are in parts in their components. And so we're no longer, for any new ESP Home device you add, the dashboard will not add update entities by default. You have to enable them if you want to. But if you have these OTA feature where it will update from a website, like from a web server, those will always be enabled by default. So you can still get those definitely. The other ones we would recommend, like we haven't removed them because there's people that use them. So we'll just disable them by default. They're still possible. It's for whatever people want, really.
Yeah, I sometimes hear people saying like we have so many updates, like for ESP Home pending in my dashboard. If that annoys you, like just click on the entity, go to the little icon on top and disable that entity, right? You will not get an update notification in that case. They are normal entities and you can disable them if that is something you don't like.
I fixed the bug. If you mark them as hidden, they will also no longer show above the settings as update, but they will still be shown on the updates page.
Good. That's nice, actually.
Yeah, that's great.
Good addition. I didn't notice. Nice.
Sneaked it in.
There's
like a few places that I still want to have updates, but I didn't want them to be shown always. So
we're looking at almost 2,000 changes. Gent is released, by the way. I don't read it's impossible to see it all. It's like I go through a lot of them, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's one question from Roy. I'll just answer it real
Okay.
quick. Can ESP device update locally through Home Assistant? Yes, that is the ESP Home dashboard. That is exactly what the ESP Home dashboard does. So just from the ESP Home dashboard, you compile your software locally, push it to ESP Home. That is 100% local and no internet required.
Unless you need libraries, of course, to build.
Yeah, it will have to download some
Then it has to download the libraries, of course.
little
Yeah, a little bit.
bit.
Little bit of source.
I mean, you could. No. Yeah. You could open the ESP Home web server and then drop a bin file if you've compiled it somewhere else. But really, you're giving yourself a lot of work.
Yeah, make it pretty difficult for yourself in a way.
There's better things to do in life.
Some people love that kind of stuff. Like
No,
Yeah,
of
sysadmin.
course, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, but in
yeah.
the end, if you're updating, you have to download the update from somewhere, right? It's not like
Yeah.
coming in through smoke signals or something. So yeah. So
Yeah.
all right, that's ESP Home. I want to dive into something completely else that we also did release, which I'm truly excited about. This is about blueprints.
Blueprints. Ta-da.
Ta-da. So we have on our community forums a blueprint exchange, in case you haven't noticed. So blueprints are basically pre-built or pre-shared automations for Home Assistant. Could also be scripts that people can create and share on a community forums, and a lot of people do. So we can see a lot of blueprints already here, and we ship some built into. So you can create automations with those, which is really cool. But there's some really cool pre-built automations in here that are really, really helpful to quickly get you started on pretty complex automations sometimes. However, if you're a little bit like me, then you download one of these and then they're like pretty freaking awesome most of the time. But just that little tiny bit that wasn't like fully up to your spec, right? You just wanted to, like, besides doing the advanced heat control, also send out an extra notification or turn off that light in certain conditions or something. And up until today, that you can't really do anything about that besides like opening up such a blueprint and then trying to figure out how the YAML works, which is somewhere hidden in here. There it is. And then you have to figure out, like, how can I rebuild this whole darn thing, basically, right? Which is just too much work.
Yep,
for
and then
this
you
one-
end up just building it from scratch anyway.
Yeah, exactly, right? Which is also not really fun. So for the biggest thing, this release, I want to share you and show you what we've changed to make that annoyance, like that 90% demo time. Oh, God, you created that one, Missy? No, you did, Madalena. Okay. Oh, wow.
Love it.
Anyways, I want to share with you today, like, if you have like a blueprint that is taking you 90% of the way, how you can add that extra 10%. And for this demo, I actually added this one automation here that is built of a built-in blueprint. So if you create an automation, you have those two built-in blueprints already, and one is the motion activated light, which I have used to create this automation. So if I open it up, I have the sensor here, which turns on my garden fault light. So if somebody walks into the garden, then the light turns on or off after 120 seconds. Beautiful blueprint. But what if I would like to do something more? And this is where the problem is, right? This is maybe 90% of my use case, but maybe I want to add a condition here that it only should do that once the sun is set, right? That would be pretty cool. There's no way to do that. So as of today, you can. Now in this top right menu, there's a little button here called Take Control. And if you click on it,
Nice.
Ooh.
it will turn that whole blueprint with everything I've controlled and set into an automation. So you can see here, when the multi-sensor 7 motion, it's actually the entity that I've selected before. Goes from clear to detected. Turn on the light. And wait. Everything is in here, what's in that blueprint. So it basically picks up the blueprint, extracts it, like expands it, and makes it like fully into a normal automation. Right now I'm looking at it and it's just read only. So this is actually a neat feature. If you ever wanted to know what a blueprint actually does, you can click on take control and you can preview it, right? You can see the whole automation happening. But I can now say that I want to take control. Yes or no. In this case, I'm going to click yes. As this point on, this becomes like read write. I can change this automation to my liking. I can now add this sun condition saying that
Nice.
only after sunset. Is it before sunrise? I always forget.
God.
Mhm.
Something like that. There we
Room
go.
for improvement. Yeah.
Room for improvement. And now save it. And at this point, this automation has been converted from a blueprint-based automation into a regular automation, which I've customized.
I love it.
Nice.
Beautiful.
It's really nice.
Nice. So for like people who makes blueprint, right? So on one hand, you don't need to add every single request that people are requesting on your thread.
Yeah.
You can keep your code simple. And then for people who really wants that particular one thing to be added to the blueprint, now you can do it yourself very quickly and easily.
Yeah.
That's
No,
awesome.
this is very nice.
Makes it easy for people like me who look at, all of the things in there. I'm like, I don't know where any of this goes. Maybe I'm doing this right. And then do it all from scratch anyway.
No, but that's the thing, right? Everybody can make beautiful automations. And it's just that little tiny tweak you sometimes want to make it perfect for your use case that is missing. And this allows it to do that. And besides that, I really like the fact that you can actually preview. Let's leave. Or did I save it? Yes, I saved it already. So it's a normal automation. But I like the fact that you can actually preview the result of every single blueprint automation by using take control. So it doesn't necessarily mean you take control. You can still go out, but at least you see what it's doing. No more feature creeps on blueprints.
Yes,
exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly, Pat.
Yeah. And I want to just, blueprints. This case, for example, if you look at this automation, right? Like we just want the light to be turned on and then have it turn off 120 seconds after the last motion. If you look at these actions, this is kind of a bit of a complicated automation, right? So we are having to wait, and it relies on the restarting of the automation when the event happens again. And if the idea is very simple, the execution is kind of complicated, right? But that's the beauty of a blueprint. Like, you just take these difficult things and we can wrap them up to make them accessible for everyone, so that the more experts in our community can help everyone to do really cool stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I love this feature. I think it's really helpful for many people. If you see something cool, you can take it 100% the way you like.
Yeah.
Take control of blueprint-based automations. Yeah, also new this release.
Nice.
All right. Let's dive into the release notes and see what we've missed, because there's a lot more to explore.
The knife and fork is a lot of people are enthusiastic about that one. The ones that use the software. I don't use it myself. Do any of you use it?
I've tried once, but I used it back in the day. But let's talk about it, because we're actually looking at the list. We talked about the LLMs and expansion and blueprint controls. Let's go to integrations.
Yeah, we're right there.
Let's talk about them. Here we are.
Mhm.
So the knife and fork is actually Mealy, which is
Really?
now an integration. Mealy, an integration by Joost Lek. And Mealy is a self-hosted recipe management system. So you can import recipes from everywhere.
I updated their website.
Yeah. Sorry.
But before we dive into Mealy, so Joost, who added this integration, he actually joined Nabukasa. So he has joined. When was it? Last week also. I mean,
like 2 weeks ago.
5 years ago.
No, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Okay. Yeah. So Joost just Joost has been active in our community for a long time, doing a lot of work around partners, helping other people write integrations, create more integrations, and cleaning up a lot of stuff. He's well known for creating Excel spreadsheets with every integration, big to-do list of all the things that needs fixing.
I love this.
And And so he joined he's great, and he joined Nabukasa to work full time on doing more of this. So we're super stoked to have him on board.
We really are.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can join a stream once.
I'm gonna force him to. He doesn't get a choice.
Force.
I'm gonna-
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Joost, if
We
you're
should
watching.
maybe if we all call Joost in the chat, maybe he will join.
No, I don't think he's actually. Oh, there he
He's
is.
here.
He's here. Oh, help!
Yeah.
Yost.
Joost.
It's the trust
Yeah.
person. You know.
Wow.
It's all right, Joost. Not here.
No, not here.
He's playing Counter Strike.
Can't
Okay.
save you.
You got this instead.
Playing Counter-Strike in the meantime. Oh God. Anyway, Joost
But so-
created the Melee integration, and thank you for that, Joost. And everybody's very stoked about that because Melee is a self-hosted recipe manager. So you can
Yes.
install it and then plan your meals, store recipes. It's able to extract recipes from websites and such. And I don't know, and now it imports like calendars into Home Assistant. So with your actual meal plans.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It extracts like in AI, they can like look at like websites and be able to like know what kind of like what the steps are and what are the things you need to buy. It's really
Oh,
cool.
nice. And it skips over the whole life story.
Yeah, let me yeah, no more like stories about like how the grandma could come up with the whole recipe and all that. Yeah.
Good God.
Nice.
I have
So
it installed here. So let me try.
Does it work?
Okay, while you're showing your screen, Scott is saying it would be nice to see the YAML for the blueprints. First of all, you can see that on the forum topic, of course, but you can also, when you have it as an automation, you can say view as YAML instead of view as UI.
Let me quickly do that here. You
Add
can
a
actually
YAML.
add it in YAML and then look at it. This is the converted blueprint actually. And this also works in preview mode. So if you go to take control and you have not taken control yet fully, like the yes or no question is there, you can switch to YAML and actually see it if you want to.
Yeah.
Bill Intermezzo. Sorry about that. Madalena, can you,
Oh
you
yes,
want to share?
yeah. I'm sharing my screen. So Melee is yeah, you can create and like scrape any recipe you like. So I guess I can I'm just gonna see if it works. It's live demo, but it's not our demo, right?
Where's the demo? Where's the demo banner? There it is.
Just knock
Let's see if
things
it
over.
works. Create. Hmm. Oh wow. Oh, it did
There you
kind
go.
of just work. Yeah, it just have a cook time and yeah.
I'm still
everything.
using paprika
The
for like,
ingredients.
I don't know how long.
Oh, that used to be the, yeah.
Yeah,
I made this. So
cool. That looks
Yep.
cool.
Yeah. No, but it's awesome that the meal planner is shown as a calendar in Home Assistant. That's like so useful if you want to have
you
a bunch of people have tablets, right, with dashboards for the day. Now the meal is on there.
I actually might start using this. This is actually cool.
so I can have beef Wellington for Wednesday.
It would be awesome if it gets delivered like fully cooked as well. But
That's the next step.
that's
That's
the
the
next
real-
step.
That's the business
the
model.
AI chef, right? The AI chef robot that cooks it. for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually don't know how to get it into Home Assistant. Well, let me try keep figuring it out.
Yeah. That's for the next stream to be continued.
Yeah, I mean
Exactly.
it's that's what we do, right? Yeah, as a calendar.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Cool.
All right, let's continue quickly. We also have Aquacell added this release, which is actually typo. It needs to be a capital C there. But it is.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Hey,
What the
I
hell is
forgot-
happening here?
Oh wow! What?
No
I
way!
got, I got a link
But
sent
that's
me,
a
and I'm
Power
ex-
Rangers
Oh.
mode.
What is this for a Sky NBC News kind of layout?
See us?
yes, I'm still my Counter Strike match, so I don't have a lot of time now. But
That's fine. You'll get dragged onto another one, I promise.
Yeah.
yes. No,
There are
but yeah,
thousands of people watching, and we are so professional. This is so cool.
No, but yeah, Well, I'm just happy to now just join Nabokasa and just work on this full time and just work with the community and just
You want to show us your melee?
the fun thing is, I never really worked with it. As in, like, yes, I knew it existed and I wanted to use it, but I only could use it when I had like a nice implementation in Home Assistant because I can't. Yeah. So this is also a reason for me to start using it. Like what happened last Saturday was literally I was waking up. I was like, okay, let me just make a planning for next week. What am I going to do? And then I need to work on this integration. I just set my pajamas till like 3 in the afternoon just to work on it melee to be like, oh, now it's finally finished. I can finally do my planning.
Oh, now you can finally start cooking. Yes.
Would be the worst integration to work on for me. I will get hungry halfway, I guess.
Yeah.
But I really have a lot of plans just for melee itself. Like imagine just passing on your recipe to an LLM. Then you have your own personal kitchen assistant. To be like, hey, I just cut all my vegetables. What should I do now? And then the thing can read your whole recipe and just answer it.
Yeah.
And that's something I really enjoy.
It's like a personal assistant. You talk to it while you're actually in the kitchen and you're like, okay, what's my next step? And it'll be like, the recipe says, and then goes through your whole entire next step. That sounds sweet.
Turn on the oven timer and then it can read the recipe like, oh, the oven needs to be on for like 40 minutes and it starts a timer for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not fully sold on the fact that I want to like have my LLM to control my oven, but otherwise
the timer itself. Only the timer.
Yeah. No, but you can add all your stuff to your shopping list. I see that in the comments. That's true. You can also have it describe your recipe in the style of Snoop Dogg.
That's good.
Well, I mean, that's like Martha Stewart, basically. So the number one rule with home automation is never integrate AI with something that can kill you, like an oven.
I can imagine, like everything is in Celsius here, right? I can imagine that thing going in Fahrenheit and trying to, like, I don't know, go thermonuclear on my recipe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Recipes in Fahrenheit and it can't convert to Celsius, and you guys are screwed.
Hey, but Joost, now you're here, by the way. It's not just melee this release, right? Like there is another thing. Let me. What happened to the layouts here? Gnocchi. Yeah, it's not not to be confused with knockoff, but it is.
It's just a potato pasta dish, right? Gnocchi.
Every time I pronounce it, it sounds like that. Yes. No, but it's literally just something, a knock sensor. You can just like knock on something on furniture, and it will trigger something. So the current use case I have for this from my home is literally I put it on my door. So the moment you knock on my door, you hear a doorbell inside. So I was literally asking people like, hey, can you please send me a good ding dong sound? And I was like, define good. And I was like, ding dong. And then I got a new nice sound. And every time I just come in like, knock, knock, ding dong. Oh, and that's just a nice feature.
What about the
people just, right. It's like very old fashioned maybe. But
yes.
Oh.
There's a blog post I just saw on Hacker News. But it's guy named Frank
or not?
All right. Oh, that one. That's Agent. That's true.
It's
that's
really Agent.
That's Agent. That thing popped up. No, but to show you, this is Gnocchi. You can put it on like a with Surface and then knock on it.
Yeah.
It's it's pretty expensive, to be honest. I found.
What's this is more than $5.
It's more $100.
That's like $100. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like clapper for non-boomers, basically. You know what a clapper is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Clap on, clap off.
Yeah, if you stay up way too late at night and you watch late night TV and be like, clap, clap. That's the first home automation.
Boomers. Listen to these boomers, guys. You need your Zoomer life here.
The thing
I have no idea what that is. What they talk about. Yeah.
Wait, the Gnocchi is
Wi-Fi and
cloud-based.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, so you can stop Gnocchi. That will stop working in like, I don't know, 5 years. There's no way this company's going to survive.
Yeah, I don't know. So for me, I can see it as like an accessibility thing, or when you have like quiet needs in the house. So you have an infant and you don't want to yell at your voice box to actually do something. You have a command to knock a few times to actually do the same thing. So there's some uses to it, but without it being accessible via price to the rest of the consumers, it's not really going to take off.
You can just have a button if you want to, like, a $5 button instead of a $100 knock.
I think the closest thing you could buy that is related to that would be the Xiaomi vibration sensors, or the Aquara ones, right?
Yeah.
They work over Zigbee. They're local and they do something similar-ish. But I guess this one is more trained to the knock instead of vibrations. But yeah. All right, let's quickly go back. So, yeah, thanks, Joost, for those two at least. You made half of the new integrations this release. That sounds really
And I reviewed the other half.
True. So the other two that are here is Aquacell, and Aquacell is a water softener. If you have it, you can, I think, monitor your salt levels on the salt that's left. If you reviewed it, Joost, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And Ista Ecotrend, water heating, the consumptions you have and the cost from that service. If you're using that service, you can pull in that energy information into Home Assistant, which is always really cool. All right, we have a bunch, like a really big.
Before we go to the next section, Frank.
Yeah. Oh.
If people like what we're doing, if people like what Joost is doing, if you want to see more of Joost or less of Joost, we'll take it.
Sponsor me on GitHub.
Please subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud by Nabokasa. It pays our bills. It pays. No, yeah,
Thumbs
so
up,
that allows us. Yeah, so Home Assistant Cloud subscription revenue helps us pay for employees. People work full time on Home Assistant, on ESP Home, on like a bunch of the voice stuff that you saw. It's all funded by users. Home Assistant, ESP Home, we're all both owned by the Open Home Foundation. We're not for sale. We cannot be invested in. You know, your future is proof with us. Your data is safe locally at home as we build it.
We are your homies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely your homies. That's for sure.
Yeah. Definitely, if you like what we're doing, support our work, please. Oh, wow. We appreciate it.
That's the new cloud name, Home Assistant Homies. Let's go.
Wow. Yeah, that's one story for today. At least, yeah. In
So
case
many
you guys,
people-
I'm going to. You should definitely subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud. But I want to really highlight what happened today. Like the Homey, it's also a smart home controllable system, like smart things and such, has been bought by LG today. That's what we're referring to and laughing about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I'm curious to find out what happened there. I hope they make it.
I mean, it will. Whatever always happens with acquisitions of user-facing, like they already said it, right? Like, listen, we want this technology in the
inside
TVs.
in the
So yeah, it's not gonna be whoever bought a hub today is like, I hope you can repurpose that thing.
I hope I have one. I hope so too, just for research and play with. So no, and in the end, no, we're not in the same structure, right? Like Home Assistant's part of the Open Home Foundation and things like that are not possible. But the Open Home Foundation and we all working on Home Assistant is funded by your subscription to Home Assistant Cloud by Nabokasa. So please subscribe, because I really like what I'm able to do, and so are the others here, and we're able to build all this awesome stuff because of your subscription. So if you subscribe, thank you so much for making that possible.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah. All right. That was a quick internet, so I always forget this one. Good for the reminder.
Yeah. Oh. We should add reminders to voice. Oh, we did.
Oh, we did. No, that's timers.
Timers.
Yeah, it's in serious reminders, I think.
Yeah.
Independence for the win. Exactly, Fabian. Oh.
I mean, that is what it's all about, right? There needs to be technology in our lives, not just a smart home, right? But browsers, messaging, for everything, there needs to be an option that is independent and not steered by big tech or big companies, because they have, we only answer to users. We only do the best thing ever for users. There's no shareholders, no investors, no anyone else to please, right? And that really gives a healthy relationship that makes sure that every change we do is to improve everyone's lives and not just from a few people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else is improved in the other integrations, because these integrations are generally built and made by our community, right? And maintained. Well, not for the first one. So the first thing to notice is that if you're using Matter, which is still in beta at this point, but the Matter integration is great. You now get number entities for settings on your lights bulbs, like startup, brightness, and things like that. So that's cool to see. Thank you so much for contributing that. By the way, it's contributed by a user and not even built by us. So that's nice.
Yeah. But Matter is still beta, but we are working very hard on removing that label and getting certified.
Yep.
No timeline right now, but we are in talks and it's actually moving forward, which is really good. We also, I was in DC. I don't know, I'm going to say last week. It was
Yes,
last
it
week.
was
I was
last
in
week.
DC last week with 2 other people from Nabucasa, and Marcel, who's working on Matter, Nikita, who's the head of Zigbee. We have talked to a lot of companies about Matter, about Zigbee, and it's looking good. We actually get a lot of compliments of the smaller companies that our Matter controller is pushing Matter forward in, because we are actually fast moving with device types, which allows manufacturers to actually implement their devices and know that it's working. We see a lot of companies, they're actually testing with Home Assistant and against Home Assistant, which also means that we have to fix this as soon as possible, like everything works exactly as intended. But it also just means that we are just the best platform, the best way to get diagnostics, the best way to troubleshoot your devices. So people, all the engineers, everyone working on Matter devices are using Home Assistant, which is really good to see. So.
It's going to be an interesting time with Matter where it goes. It stays interesting. Also interesting this cycle is TP-Link. If you have any of their devices, the integration has been fully revamped in the past few months.
Yeah.
It's like fully modernized. It does everything you expect it to do. Supports a ton of new devices and hubs and a bunch of new entities and also firmware updates and things like that. So it's top notch now. It's absolutely nice. So thank you so much for the guys that worked on that.
Yeah. Next is my favorite.
Fully kiosk is your favorite?
Yes. Yeah. Now you can put dashboards everywhere and use the camera that is on the tablet as a security camera or anything you like to do.
Yeah, and you can also send speak-to-text messages, which is pretty cool, and play video. So you can send the camera feed of your security camera in your Fully Kiosk dashboard to the Fully Kiosk dashboard. It's so helpful. It's like a mirror function.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Nice.
Yeah.
You could have a mirror dashboard.
Delayed, yes, somewhat delayed mirror dashboard probably at that point because of the buffering happening, but still cool.
Yeah.
Unify Protect is going strong, by the way. I skip over one, but Unify Protect is a big one. It has been in a weird state for quite some time, and now the future looks bright. It's sunny, it's shiny, it's fast because Bidraco touched it, right? It has been fully, it's flying. And animal detection sensors.
Nice. Added
as well. So everybody was contributing there to make that integration top notch and firmly working now. Yeah. Somebody
wants us to explain the drama. Should
I? Yes, you can. Sure. I think that's fair, right? Because there's some commotion around Unify happened the last
and
month.
we haven't been exactly open about it. And we've been working on it on the back end in all reality to try to organize things. Essentially, the previous code owner for the integration tried to put a poison pill into the integration, right? And decided to try to call our bluff and say that if we did not agree with this merge, to remove them. So we didn't agree with it. We removed them and an implosion happened. This was actually after a couple months of implosions, so it was kind of leading up to this overall. The important thing is the integration is in a great spot. The integration is being maintained. And BDraco really did just go through and make massive improvements to it. And you can use current features that you couldn't use before, like the animal detection. So the thing that we are really excited about is that there shouldn't be much drama around this integration anymore. And we've got code owners who have stepped up to help us out here and take it on. So
And
yeah.
to add to that message, if you want to help out with that integration and also become a code owner and step up as well, that is welcomed. So just help us out. Another thing I want to highlight, because like Robert is here and he's highlighting this and he's fully true. This is only Unify Protect drama, not to be confused with Unify integration, the base integration, which is maintained by Robert, by the way, and we have zero dramas with him.
Thank
You're
you so
actually
much,
doing
Robert.
great. Yeah, you're doing great. So let's not get that misunderstood.
Yeah. It's not wrong.
So yeah, Unify Protect there and well.
Yeah.
Reolink integration, always also similar to video, right? But Reolink is very popular in our community in general as well. And it now has support for the Reolink Home Hub, which is a new hub they published or are selling. The cool thing about it is that through that hub, it can support all the battery-powered cameras that are out there. I believe there are 15 different cameras from Reolink. So they now will work with Home Assistant as well, and including software updates. So that's very nice. Thank you so much, Starkiller, for building that. Another one to highlight here would probably be this one, I guess, the Bang & Olufsen.
They've been hard at work. Bang & Olufsen integration is looking really good. I'm going to visit them next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Denmark. They're in Denmark. You know, that's what you do.
In case people don't know and like what's going on, Bang & Olufsen, the company actually are working on this integration. They are contributing to this integration. It's a company doing that. And I have very much respect for that happening.
Yeah. I don't know the overlap between Bang & Olufsen and Home Assistant users, but maybe we can improve that.
I think there are like 97 users of that integration right now. I would love to test it out. I would love to help
send me some
test
test equipment. Yeah, exactly.
Send us some sample, please. You know.
Yeah, it's 96 employees and Madeleine are using the Bang & Olufsen integration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joost has been adding more stuff here to Nanoleaf, touch events, so you can trigger automations using an event entity on Nanoleaf.
Yeah, nice.
What can you do with those, Joost? Is it like a swipe or touch, or how does that work actually?
Okay. So I have literally I bought a kit and I only just unpacked it to get 2 panels to make this.
Oh, you have? It's
I never put them. So I have them here.
It's like Melee. It's an idea at this point.
Next to his Melee.
Oh, also I can use my Nanoleaf. Okay.
So you have these. You put them together.
This guy.
And then if you then floop, and that's like a touch event.
Okay.
Pile to pile.
Like floop. Okay, floop. It's a
Yeah.
floop.
Okay.
Right. Awesome.
But don't you get fingerprints on your lights? Is that like?
No, they're like matte. They're like matte.
Don't
shiny.
use Melee and the lights at the same time, Paul.
Okay. Nice.
All right. Roborock, also always popular, is now the Diet vacuums. I have never heard of them before.
Diet.
But, Diet. It's called Diet. Sorry, I didn't know. I've never heard of them before.
It's like Ray and Kylo Ren kind of diet.
It looks like Star Wars.
It does. Look like a stormtrooper.
It's like it feels like an old-fashioned vacuum cleaner a bit, but it's not. You don't see them use.
It's like the Dysons, right? It looks a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it starts with the word die. It's just like sounds like diet.
Oh my god.
They're using
things I learned.
Clever branding, I guess. Whatever.
Cool. We have some integrations reaching platinum level, which is cool. Most notably, ESP Home.
Yeah.
How
we
the-
knew.
how-
I have no idea.
How is it possible that our own project wasn't platinum yet? But
No, but it
has
was
been reached.
platinum, right? I think it was just not marked as such.
No, it wasn't. It has been worked on
Oh.
by Bidraco and Jesse to make it platinum. So thank you so much for making that happen. But yeah, it's cool to see it finally reach that. And Pilot is here. In case you don't know what Pilot is, basically it's some kind of download manager for downloading your Linux ISOs like onto locally. Basically, that's what it's for, right? And to download all your Linux distributions. And Teslametry, which is really cool. This project we've talked about a few times in the past months, but it's now reached platinum as well. It's fairly new. If you have a Tesla vehicle, definitely check this integration out. It's built out by a community member, and it's pretty. It's beautiful. It's cool to get your Tesla vehicle into Home Assistant.
Yeah.
Move to the UI this cycle. That's quite a lot. Feed reader. If you're still into RSS feeds, they're now easy to add to the UI. Pretty cool. The hygrostat and thermostats. These are generic integrations, which means they are helpers. You can add them through a helper and then select like a temperature sensor and a switch. So if you have a heater with a wall plug and a temperature sensor in a room, you can build out your thermostat that way, and it will control the heater for you, which is actually pretty cool.
That's very nice.
Right. Pilot is in here. Music player daemon also done by Joost. You've been busy, Joost. And
This
Intergas.
was a 2-hour project in that plane. I had no internet, so it was like, let me just work on this.
Right. That's 2-hour projects. That's a new one.
Yeah. The one-time passwords are nice. It's like the two-factor authentications. So you can now have that in your user interface. So if you want to have, I don't know for what kind of reason, but you can have it to have a page in Home Assistant now.
Does it show like a QR code or something? Or is it the other
No,
way
I think
around?
it's
It's
just
a
a
number.
6-digit. Yeah. So
Ah,
you have to
right.
scan the QR code and the 6 digits.
So you
That's
can
cool.
kind of do a password manager inside Home Assistant.
Don't. Yes.
And feed it into your LLM, right?
Yeah.
Next time, show and tell with you.
Yeah. What other projects have you done that you don't use? Yeah.
There's another.
No, let's not go there.
Like last year on FOSDEM, there was like this guy who was promoting Uyghur, WGER. And that's an open source platform for workout management. And that's something I also want to look into. Like also something I want to start using, and then I
want to start
put
work
it
out.
to start using it. I already started.
Just like cooking.
I'm working out, but I need to register it in a nice way.
Yeah. A button entity in Home Assistant.
Click it and it's done.
Yeah.
Like
Every setup, you hit your nose on a button, and then.
Or you knock. There you go.
Oh, worse. On this list is also statistics. If you're looking for some more advanced information about some sensors, you can now set that up via the UI and get some
Nice.
detailed data. I think that's a really cool addition. I cannot come up with the use case on the spot right now, but there are many information you can get from sensors.
I mean, I use statistics for. I have my heating dashboard, and I have statistics to show how long has the climate been heating today and how much has been heating yesterday. So I kind of keep track on like in the winter. And then the one of today is of course ever growing, and the one from yesterday is static, right? So if you look at the history of the yesterday one, you see each day how much you get a nice bar graph of your month, which is very nice.
Cool.
So there's some cool stuff there.
We're also saying goodbye to 2 integrations this release. Unify Circuit, I'm going to highlight this one first because the other one we probably talk a little bit more about, but it's been deprecated and now been cleaned up. The surface is just not usable right now. And Aladdin Connect has been removed, which we should probably explain a little bit why.
Yeah, this is a bit of a like they changed the API and it was broken, and they told us like, well, listen, we want to provide an official integration, and we want to make sure that it uses the right API, these kind of things. And so we're like, okay, cool.
Happy.
And so Yeah.
That was happy moment.
And we reviewed it. We got into the last release, and we were happy using it. And then all of a sudden, and it was a bit sloppy on our side, somebody opened a GitHub issue saying the license on this library is not compatible with Home Assistant because the license states that you're not allowed to redistribute it. And we're like, oh, because that means that we're violating, which means that any Home Assistant container could be the target of a takedown request because, we were distributing software we were not allowed to distribute. So we asked them to change the license. We're still talking with them about it. They're not moving at our release pace. So just to be cautious, even though they said that we are allowed to distribute it within America and Canada, but of course we distribute Home Assistant globally. So we were like, we're still talking with them, and this is gonna get fixed, no doubt, because they want this, they contributed this. They just need to get sign off from the right people, and hopefully we can reinstate it as soon as possible.
Yeah, hopefully we can. But for now, just for safety, we've removed it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. There are some more. We talked about the ESP Home part already, right?
So
New
good.
logo, and logo is beautiful.
Some more. Oh yes, yeah. Some more
The
cute
logo is beautiful.
features. There's
They look very alike, by the way, Madalena. It's so nice.
Yeah.
In case somebody
Yes,
doesn't know, this
so
is this thing in the middle here. This E is the antenna you see on the ESP chips. That's where it's from. So it's very neat. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Some other noteworthy changes that are not from mitigations, but more of our framework and internals. Really cool one here is that you can now that ESP chip indeed. Joost.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
There
that's
it is.
another E. Yep.
Some really cool thing is you can now in Home Assistant, and this is revolutionary. You can go into your user account and then just change your username. It's like no software has ever done that before, but we cannot do it.
We do it, right? Like we go that extra
Amazing.
mile. This is
Yeah.
really, yeah.
So bad that was never possible before.
Demo time.
I can't show you the added button, but yeah, you want to see it really?
No.
I'm happy to do, by the way. The next one I find really cool as well. In case you ever if you write automations in YAML yourself, like if that ever happens, you make a typo in there, like a syntax error or like your template, you mess it up. Your automation wouldn't load, but you would only find out if you go to the automation page in the settings, and then somewhere in that list there's that one automation that has a red little robot icon in front of it. That's the one broken, and that's how you find out. So to fix that, we now raise a repair issue, so you actually know you're notified of the fact that something is wrong there, instead of you searching like, why the heck is this light not triggering or something else. Really cool automation. Yeah.
Oh,
Some
I did the
grouping
next
changes
one.
from you. Yeah, you did this one, huh?
No, yeah, we've been moving to having more, obviously Assist have been relying on entities, speech to text, text to speech. This is kind of what we call service entities. So they are like a service that's provided either on the computer itself or in the cloud or somewhere else. And we're now grouping them no longer with primary entities or diagnostic or config or sensors. They have their own group. And the same goes for notifications. So for example, the mobile app, you install the Home Assistant Companion app, your phone becomes a device in Home Assistant. It will now have a notification entity in its own group on the device info page. So it's clear, like, hey, here's something.
Yep, that's definitely helpful. We talked about the intent previously. Trend helpers will now be automatically linked to the device they are sourced from, which is pretty nice. Following a trend of a specific device, then it will show up on that device page. Pretty cool. And direct thermostat and microstat we already talked about. Then there are two features I also want to talk about, and that we're going to do with. Can I get a banner? It's just because that's cool.
You want a banner? Yeah.
Banner. Come on. No,
Banner.
Oh.
Okay. I click on it. Wait.
it doesn't work.
Rip.
There it
There
is.
you go.
Demo time. No, two
Don't
little
worry, thanks.
features we just want to show and share. One is if you create a template through the UI, and this is one of the most requested features on our forum since the month of what the heck, a long time ago. It's if you create a template helper and you create your beautiful template with I don't know what's in it, but something. You create your beautiful advanced calculation and template with whatever. You can now actually bind it to a device of your liking, so it will show
so
up
nice.
on that device. And this is one of the most requested features, and well, it's there now. So thank you so much for contributing that.
Yeah, the way I've been using this one is that I have a template to. I have a template to monitor if my sump pump is active or not, and I do that by looking at the number of watts that's being used by the energy plug that's in, and so now the binary sensor is also attached to the sump pump, such that it's like all in one place.
I see a question pop up here, which I want to answer because it's mentioned in the release note specifically, but I'm going to raise and tell why a little bit. It's not available for YAML because in YAML you cannot do anything with devices. That's you can target it in automations, but you cannot add. It does not have the UI features because devices is specifically a UI feature, and it's not available through that route. It's simply not possible in our current structure.
Yep.
For some workaround I've seen, but this is the worst ever, is you could create a very complex YAML one and then like create your UI one to pick up the value of your YAML version. But that's such a bad.
Don't bring them on a
Yeah.
I should not tell that. It's just the worst. Then the last feature, which is probably the biggest feature I'm going to show today, because this is huge. This is definitely the biggest feature we've had since years, which you can change. It's insane. All right, so you can change radius and zones in Home Assistant, right? You can pick them up, drag and drop, and change the radius. Pretty cool. However, this was never possible for the home zone, and now. Like, look at this. Whoop, whoop. You can just change it. It's magical. It just works.
What?
No
Your
way.
home is that big? What?
So that's a big feature number. I don't know. I forgot the count, but that's the last big feature we had. You can now actually change the home zone, which was previously never possible.
I like it.
Yeah. So that would conclude everything we have in this release. Look at these beautiful.
Oh, I was about to say, look at the new important boxes. They've been part of the redesign.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, which is a good note, by the way. If you've overridden your home zone in YAML in any way, there are multiple ways possible. It will not work together with UI feature because YAML wins. That's basically how it's set up. Some backwards incompatible changes. It is quite the list, but it are mostly small things. Some things to really notice is that the calendar and weather, we had some
list
services which, those were deprecated a half year ago. You would have got notices if you've been using it in the past half year. But they have changed and the backwards compatibility has been removed now. And the same is for the weather entity, which is similar. Get forecast, it's now becoming get forecasts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The output format also changed motherland compatibility. It's not just the name.
Well, I did update that recently. Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So yeah, that would probably conclude this.
That's it.
This release, which was still a long talk. We have 6 minutes to spare, so that's for the 2-hour marker.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like the blueprints, the take control, or just to be able to view a blueprint, like what is happening inside of it, like in a visual way. I like that a lot. Like we have, of course, when you import a blueprint, you see the YAML, but YAML can be difficult to grasp. You see it nicely laid out in the UI, drag. where like you can just open things, dive in. That's very nice.
Yeah.
I like Dashboard, and that's again right. Dashboard Chapter 2 and July 24th.
Yeah,
3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Well, 3 weeks. Yeah, it's
3 weeks, Paulus.
to the dot. Yeah.
lots of pressure.
No pressure. Just run it like we're
No.
doing now. We were
Yeah.
prepared for things.
Yeah.
Right?
We
No, I
Yoshi-
I love the
Yeah,
website.
Yeah.
How did the play?
Um,
Rude. Excuse me.
Oh.
Hang on. We're gonna talk about this real quick. Cause
Oh.
Oh,
in May, Frank forced me to say a
Oh.
date.
I asked for a guesstimate, but yes, I know how it felt. I'm sorry for that. That was not the idea of putting you on a spot like that. But yeah,
So,
go ahead.
On Sunday, I actually made some very quick changes per request of Frank to the developer section. It was stuff we had already planned out. So that's happened already, if you haven't noticed. They will be private channels once the full switch happens for the server. Right now, I'm hoping that's in 2 weeks. I have mostly everything done. I have to get some wording done and fix a couple bots. Outside of that, and some emojis, roll icons. We're getting lots of new like fun things. So I'm really excited about all of that. So it has not gone. It will go still. Hopefully.
You
by the
will
end of
be
this-
able to shit post, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. You'll still be able to shit post. You won't need to worry about that anymore.
Oh, it definitely looks fun. And I think the change that we've seen now with the development that we made for the developers is already showcasing a little bit where it's going. And also it gives us a little bit of opportunity to learn a bit. Like we've deployed some things and we already learned a few bits, I guess, where we can do better for the full move. So it's kind of nice, actually.
Yeah.
But thank you for doing that, actually.
Yeah,
So-
no worries. Like I said, it made up for your whole weekend project with Madalena and going for the 30-minute project with me.
yeah.
Don't we have like a banner with like where you can go?
No, just
Yeah,
go
we
to
can.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Go to our web. Yeah. Oh yeah. But if you go to our website, there's just a button that says chat. So
Yeah, on our new beautiful website, there's a button to join
Yeah.
the chat.
And we have
Where
the
is it?
nice short handle, the special one where you can
Oh,
just
here it
type
is.
Home Assistant at the end of discord.gg. So should work just fine.
That's true.
But yeah.
Join our community. Yeah.
Oh.
And there's a newsletter too. Wow. Ooh, cool.
What?
Yeah, you should actually. I mean, I actually never promote the newsletter, but we send out a cool newsletter every month with not only highlights of the community, but also with like either a story of something that happened, some insights, some like this is content that's not on the blog. It's only on the newsletter. So it's definitely, if you're still watching 2 hours in, subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud, subscribe to our newsletter. You will
Yeah,
not
you
be
can.
disappointed.
Hear more from Paulus every month, which is a great newsletter, by the way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not about Home Assistant necessarily. Like it's generally in the open home and everything that's going on in the ecosystem
Yeah.
and everything around it. So it's not
smart
fully
home
Home.
world.
Like if you want to know what Home Assistant does, go to the Home Assistant website. But the newsletter will go in much wider, and it's
Yeah.
definitely an interesting read every month.
Yeah, but it's more deep dive into the ecosystem, which we felt didn't always fit on the Home Assistant blog, so we can go a bit
Yeah.
more meta.
In the past, we did
Yes.
just added that to the release notes. We could. But
Just
now
dump it
it's
in there.
that's yeah.
Like what
Right.
Paula
Yeah.
says at the end with the industry news, where you do your very blunt opinion on the article at the very end and how you feel about the news overall. And I think that gives a really good insight into how we view some of these things when we're looking at them from an industry standpoint, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I really enjoy it. He also talks a lot about community stuff. So if you got cool shit in the community, it could be highlighted in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Just send us an email. Just paulus@nabukaza.com. Oh, I'll monitor that one. And then no, because normally like the things I highlight are the things that we kind of like come across during ours, you know, going through Reddit or whatever, Mastodon. And so it's good if there's something that like we're not picking up, it's not because we're ignoring it, it's probably we didn't see it.
Yep.
Yeah. I want to There's this one. I know we're running over time, but I want to. This question somebody asked, like, what's happening to our Z-Wave stick that we're working on? We're still working on it. We are. Yeah, it's. I don't expect it before October, November. I hope this year. Let's just say I hope this year. That's our. That's I think the best estimate. There's no tight. I don't have a hard date where I can say.
The cool thing about our project is that we have no investors in our knack to make a deadline. Right? We want to ship it if we're done and it's perfect, and not when it's
So we want to make sure
like
it's good.
pushed by something. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's asking about the voice assistant device. I actually mentioned it already earlier, but that one is definitely looking better than the Z-Wave stick. No deadline either, but soon
It's on track. Yeah.
On track, yes. And when I say soonish, it's not like 2 months, but like definitely after the summer. But we're working on it. Yeah,
On track.
Anything else new?
well, I mean,
You're
not
traveling.
here, traveling, busy.
My battery's empty, right?
But it's DBT1. It's a nice news packaging.
Oh
That's
yeah.
Da-da-da. If you collect them all, you can get the CVT one. You can get the yellow. You can get the green. Engaging
them all.
consumerism. No, actually, don't do that. Sustainability. Don't buy things you don't need. But also support the Nabukasa and the Open Home Foundation, which supports the Home Assistant project.
Yeah.
Good. I think it's time to wrap up.
Yes.
We hit our 2-hour mark. We won our internet points for the day. If you're still watching and you haven't liked, what are you waiting for?
Thumbs
Like
up,
this video,
please. Click that
subscribe.
thing.
Bell,
That's
bell.
the button. Thumb there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
This was a cool
Yes,
release again.
subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud by Nabukasa to increase the GDP. Oh.
And I want to give a shout out for another channel you should subscribe to, which is a new channel, actually. Wait, what? And I'm now like really quickly trying to figure out where it is. Hold on. Such well prepared here.
We launched a second YouTube channel because we know that a lot of people cannot get enough of us. Now, we wanted to have a lot of content about ESP Home, and so we decided to not also just put that on the Home Assistant channel because that felt a bit weird, because it sometimes goes very technical, very deep, very awesome. So it doesn't always fit on the Home Assistant channel, which is more professional. And anyway, we're splitting out the content. So we did our first live stream for ESP Home on that channel. Definitely check it out. Do you have
I pushed the link in the chat, so everybody click in the chat, subscribe to the ESP Home channel, because that's cool too. We're going to have some release parties there, not as frequent as we do with Home Assistant, because the releases are a little bit different in sizes and in terms of content. But we'll have release parties there and videos and stuff like that. So there will be stuff happening there. So definitely subscribe to that one as well, please.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
And thanks, Joost, for joining.
Yeah, thanks for
How's your
showing up.
Yes. How's your Counter-Strike match going, Joost?
Well, we lost.
Epic. Okay. Well, we succeeded in something today. The live stream. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you all next month.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.